Good evening, I'm Taylor Thomas with a CTV News update. The clock is ticking. Maryland's early voting period is winding down. Voters have until 8 p.m. tonight to cast their ballot. State election officials say that the county had their third largest voter turnout yesterday. Unofficial results show that more than 8,600 county residents voted on Thursday. CTV News spoke to voters at the Wayne K. Curry Sports and Learning Complex in Landover.
We had a lot of concerns here in Maryland, but I think the voting for the people I voted for will help cover all of that.
I don't mind saying I'm just Democratic. I mean, not that I vote Democrat all the way. I vote for the man, but I have to go with the party this year.
You don't have the rights to do a whole lot of things. This is one thing that's free. And I need to be free.
Remember, there are 13 early polling locations in the county. Of all the ballot questions voters will consider as they head to the polls, perhaps the most talked about is ballot question number 4. If passed, the measure will legalize the recreational use of cannabis in Maryland for those 21 years and older, beginning in July of 2023. For insight on the issue, we spoke with the legislative sponsor of question 4, as well as the founder of Smart Approaches to Marijuana.
We've been talking about this here in Annapolis for quite a while, and the Speaker of the House put together a work group, made me the head of the work group here in the House, because we wanted to deal with issues related to equity and cannabis. There's no question that thousands and thousands of Marylanders have gotten convictions for possessions of small amounts of marijuana in particular, and the disproportionate number of those people are people of color, are Black and brown Marylanders. We've reached the point where it's time to put this on the ballot and to legalize, give people the opportunity to legalize cannabis.
My main thought is that today's marijuana is not your marijuana of the past. It's been genetically bred to have the THC, which is what gets you high, be increased. So I'm worried about health, but I'm also worried about the big tobacco companies that are going to be preying, especially on people of color and disenfranchised people, as they have in places like Colorado and California. So I don't think this is a win for anyone unless you're one of the investors that are trying to make money off of legal weed.
So far, 19 states and the District of Columbia have legalized the recreational use of cannabis. The county school district says it will delay its plan to close 2 elementary schools. Today, some parents are calling it a small victory. The school system announced the final recommendations of its comprehensive school boundary plan yesterday. The revised list includes putting a hold on the consolidation of Concord and Pointer Ridge elementary schools until the fall of 2024. Now, the new plan would also eliminate boundary changes at 29 schools. Darius Hyman, the PTA of Pointer Ridge Elementary, says he still wants the closing of Pointer Ridge to be completely taken off the table.
I believe the community made a lot of valid and valiant efforts to be heard. I believe that their voices have made a big difference in them delaying it and then taking some things into consideration. I hope that the surveys and everything that they're doing to assess the direction they're moving forward will be done, and that we'll have full transparency.
Hyman, along with other parents, rallied outside of the Saucer Administration building this afternoon. The school superintendent will present the final recommendations to the school board next Thursday, November 10th. As we reported yesterday, Washington Commanders owners Dan and Tanya Snyder may sell the team. If they do, a media mogul is already preparing a bid for the team, and if he succeeds, he would make NFL history. According to Bloomberg, Byron Allen, the founder and owner and CEO of Entertainment Studios, is working with an investment group to acquire the team. If he succeeds, Allen would become the first Black owner in the NFL.
Commissioner Goodell and Bob Kraft, owner of the Patriots, they came to me in November 2019 and they said, Byron, we need a favor. And I said, what's that? They said, we need you to buy an NFL team. We've never had a Black owner. We want to achieve this goal, and you would be helping the league, and this would be great for the country. And when they said great for the country, I said, you have my attention.
The league says that any potential transaction would have to be presented to the NFL Finance Committee for review and will require 24 of 32 owners to approve it. The Federal Reserve substantially raises interest rates once again in an effort to tame inflation. The key rate now stands between 3.75 and 4%. The aggressive increase over the past year have made 30-year mortgages spike to nearly 7%. Sales of existing homes have dropped for 8 straight months. Realtors and lenders say it's dramatically altering how they deal with clients.
Home buyers, they are encountering a market where interest rates are near 7%, up from about 3% January of this year. It translates into $1,000 extra per month for a mortgage payment. For sellers, they may be very wary to move. They could have separation anxiety from their very low interest rate mortgage, where they could have very possibly refinanced at 2.5%, 2.25%, and may have no intention of ever leaving their home.
Policymakers say the pace of rate hikes may soon begin to slow because some early signs suggest inflation could start declining in 2023. You're watching CTV News. I'm Taylor Thomas. Coming up, Prince George's is expanding its curbside compost program. The story after the break. Stay tuned.
This year, celebrate Vote Early Day
and make your voice heard.
Each year, the amount of people voting early grows.
And this fall, over 220 million Americans can vote early.
In person.
By dropping off their ballot.
Or mailing it in. With so many options, you can vote when it's convenient for you.
Election Day is the last day to cast your ballot.
So the question isn't why vote early.
It's why wait. Join the celebration and find out how you can vote early at voteearlyday.org.
Good evening and welcome back. A passenger was found dead aboard a metro train earlier this morning. Officials say a train operator spotted the unresponsive person on the train at the downtown Largo station around 1:15 a.m. Metro Transit Police and medics responded and began CPR, but were not able to revive the passenger, who was pronounced dead shortly after 2 a.m. Metro officials say no foul play is suspected. The incident remains under investigation. It's called Aviation Landing, and it's set to take off soon in College Park. The Aviation Landing Development Project was announced today during a press conference on the future site of the mixed-use complex. The land, which is owned by the county, will include 900 residential units along with office and university space, all of it within walking distance of Metro Rail.
The ground floor of this exciting space will have retail and restaurant space, giving Prince Georgians the opportunity to open and enjoy small, locally owned businesses. It's fitting that the first phase of Aviation Landing will replace a large flat parking lot, because all across Prince George's County, we're looking for opportunity to focus on people, not cars.
Alsobrooks says the project, which is still a few years away, is expected to create 2,700 full-time permanent jobs. Prince George's County is leading the state in the battle against climate change. Today, the county executive announced a new program called PGC Compost, which is an expansion of the county's trash pickup days. 60,000 tons of food waste ends up in the county's landfill a year, and when that breaks down, it turns into methane, which has been linked to a number of health and breathing-related illnesses. The new Monday morning PGC Compost pickup program would help to cut that number by 1/3.
So the immediate benefits are the long-term preservation of our landfill, because we're reducing 60,000 tons of waste from the landfill, reducing the greenhouse gases that are emitted, because methane gas is 80 times more powerful than CO2, so there's a significant amount of greenhouse gases that are emitted from this, and finally making a usable product in that we make the leaf grow gold out of it.
Prince George's County boasts the largest and most advanced compost facility on the East Coast. The slogan for the new trash pickup day is "Every meal, every scrap, every Monday." CVS and Walgreens announced a $10 billion opioid settlement. The two largest U.S. pharmacy chains have agreed to pay about $5 billion each to settle lawsuits nationwide. Walmart is also in discussions for a deal. Settlements between drug makers and distribution companies have already been proposed or finalized. The deals would end thousands of lawsuits in which governments claim pharmacies filled prescriptions that they should have flagged as inappropriate. State and local governments must first sign on to the deal before it's finalized. Prince George's Animal Control holds a very brief virtual public meeting this morning to discuss identification standards for pit bull terriers. The meeting comes on the heels of a federal lawsuit filed after 2 emotional support dogs were seized from a Laurel family in July. According to court documents, the dogs got loose and attacked another dog on a neighbor's property, causing severe injuries. The public did not get a chance to weigh in on the issue during this morning's meeting. The county's controversial ban on owning pit bulls was enacted 25 years ago. And still to come, sports with Laurencia Moten. Stay tuned.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Hey there, sports fans. The end of the week is near, and next week, the University of Maryland women's basketball team matches up against their first Division I opponent of the season. The Lady Terps travel to Fairfax, Virginia to battle the George Mason Patriots, and fans can expect to see a lot of new faces. One of them being Lavender Briggs, a transfer from the University of Florida, who says her role on this Terps team is to do whatever is necessary to win.
Well, one, I like to play hard. I like to play fast. I like to shoot the ball. And I feel like I'm good off the bounce and I can get to the rim. I like to do whatever my coach needs me to do, honestly.
Now, last night, the Washington Wizards matched up against the Philadelphia 76ers, and this time around, they were able to come away with the win. Joel Embiid, a star player for the Sixers, did not play, and the Wizards made sure to take advantage of his absence. After the game, head coach Wes Unseld Jr. touched on the team's defensive intensity and how it helped to pull out the win.
It was better. I mean, much better than the other night. Wasn't perfect. Obviously, that third quarter, they got going, started shooting to a big bucket. But we want to try to sustain our play for as close to 48 minutes as possible. That's not always the case every night. The big key is how do you bounce back. If it does get away from you, can you find a way to tighten the reins a bit, and especially in the fourth quarter, come up with key stops. Obviously, down the stretch, we were able to score, get to the line, so that just kind of helps you set your defense as well.
We're back with another edition of the Pet of the Week. This time, an adorable dog is looking for his forever home. Meet Chase. He's about 2 years old. Chase has been at the shelter since September. Animal management says he is microchipped and neutered.
I think just anybody who has a little bit of time and, like dedication. I honestly don't know if he's going to have a very high exercise requirement. I could see him being the kind of dog, and I could totally be wrong, but I could see him being the kind of dog who maybe would be happy with just a few 30-minute walks throughout the day. Or if you have a yard, I could see him being the kind of dog that's happy to just hang out and lay in the sun.
Anyone looking to adopt Chase can contact Animal Management at 301-780-7201. All right, let's turn to our weather forecast. Tonight, mostly clear with lows around 49 degrees. Friday's forecast, mostly sunny, highs near 72. If you like Friday, Saturday's even better. Partly sunny with highs around, get this, 76 degrees. Sunday, rain possible, highs in the mid-70s. That is your wrap-up of CTV News. I'm Taylor Thomas. Good night.